Tonight, you might order sushi without a second thought. Raw salmon, raw tuna, sliced thin, sitting right on your plate. You'll eat it raw and never blink. But hand you a piece of raw steak, just as fresh, just as clean, and something in you recoils. Your stomach turns. Your brain screams no. Why does one raw flesh feel normal and the other feels dangerous? Most people assume it's just about taste or tradition. But that's not the real reason. The real reason is buried inside your own biology and inside a war between you and invisible killers you can't see. Scientists call it host specificity, and once you understand it, you'll never look at a plate of sushi the same way again. Stay till the end, because the last part explains something about your own body you've never been told. Let's start with the obvious question. Isn't raw meat just as safe as raw fish? Not even close. In 2011, researchers tracking foodborne illness found something strange. Most raw fish poisoning cases were mild, short, survivable. But raw meat poisoning cases were different, longer, deeper, sometimes deadly. Why? Because of what's actually living inside that flesh. Picture a cow grazing in a field. Its body is warm. Its blood runs close to 101 degrees, almost exactly your own temperature. Now picture a fish, cold-blooded, living in water barely above freezing. Here's the fascinating part. Parasites and bacteria are picky. They evolved to survive inside a very specific body temperature. A parasite built for a cow's warm gut thrives instantly inside your warm gut too, because your body feels just like home. But a parasite built for a fish, adapted to cold ocean water, struggles to survive once it hits your 98.6 degree bloodstream. It's not built for that heat. It dies before it can even take hold. This is called host specificity, and it's the hidden reason raw fish feels survivable and raw mammal meat does not. But here's what's fascinating. It's not just about temperature. It's about how closely related you are to your dinner. Think about it this way. You share more biology with a cow or a pig than you do with a tuna. Mammal parasites and mammal diseases are engineered by evolution to jump between mammals, easily, smoothly, like a key that fits a very similar lock. A fish is so genetically distant from you that most fish parasites simply can't unlock your body at all. This is why one of history's deadliest meat parasites, Trichinella spiralis, almost exclusively targets pigs, bears, and other mammals, not fish. So what killed people for centuries before we understood this? Undercooked pork, trichinosis, muscle pain, fever, in severe cases, death. For most of human history, nobody knew why. They just knew raw meat sometimes turned deadly. But then science confirmed what instinct had already been warning us about. Now, imagine you're a human being 40,000 years ago. You've just killed a wild boar. You're starving. The meat is right there. Do you eat it raw? Or do you take the risk of building a fire first? Every single human who chose fire, who chose to cook that meat through, survived more often. Every human who ate it raw rolled the dice with an invisible enemy hiding inside the muscle. Generation after generation, the fire users lived longer, had more children, passed on the instinct. This is why the smell of raw mammal meat can trigger disgust in you today. It's not random. It's ancient risk memory, written into your senses by ancestors who paid the price so you wouldn't have to. But raw fish never triggered that same fear, because fish never carried the same warm-blooded threat. So why do fish carry any danger at all? This is where it gets stranger. Fish do carry parasites, real ones. Anisakis worms are one of the most common. They live coiled inside fish muscle, waiting. But here's the twist. These worms are adapted to survive inside cold-blooded hosts, seals, whales, other sea creatures, not humans. When Anisakis enters a human body, it usually can't complete its life cycle. It causes irritation, sometimes sharp stomach pain, but it rarely establishes a long-term infection the way mammal parasites do. Your body is the wrong environment. It's a dead end for the parasite. parasite, not a new home. This still doesn't mean raw fish is risk-free. It means the risk operates on completely different rules. So how did humans figure out which raw fish was safe to eat? This part is almost unbelievable. Around the coasts of Japan, centuries before refrigeration existed, fishermen developed something remarkable. Purely through trial, error, and death. They noticed something. Fish caught fresh from cold, deep water rarely made people sick. Fish left out too long, warmed by the sun, or caught in warmer, shallow waters, caused illness far more often. Without understanding microbiology, they built an entire food culture around cold, fresh, immediate preparation. This eventually became the foundation of sashimi and sushi, a system built on instinct, centuries before anyone knew what a parasite even was. But here's what modern science added that ancient instinct couldn't see: freezing. In the 20th century, researchers discovered something that changed raw fish safety forever. Freezing fish at extremely low temperatures for a set period of time kills almost all parasites hiding inside. This is why, today, sushi-grade fish in the United States is required by law to be frozen first, -4 degrees Fahrenheit, for at least 7 days, before it's legally allowed to be served raw. It's not magic, it's not tradition, it's a temperature war. Cold enough, long enough, to kill what couldn't survive the cold in the first place. So what about mammal meat? Why can't we just freeze that too and eat it raw? Here's the uncomfortable answer. Freezing kills many parasites, but it doesn't kill everything. Certain dangerous bacteria in mammal meat, like E. coli and Salmonella, aren't parasites at all. They're bacteria that live on the meat's surface. And unlike cold-sensitive fish parasites, many of these bacteria can survive freezing temperatures just fine. Freezing barely slows them down. The only reliable killer, heat, high heat, which is exactly why cooking meat thoroughly still matters, even after freezing it. This is the layer most people never think about. Raw fish danger mostly comes from parasites, cold-sensitive. Freezing can neutralize them. Raw meat danger mostly comes from bacteria, heat-sensitive, not cold-sensitive. Freezing barely touches them. Two completely different biological battles, hiding behind one simple question. Why do we eat one raw and not the other? And it might be the strangest part of all. This isn't really about fish or meat at all. It's about distance. Biological distance between you and what you're eating. The closer an animal is to you, genetically, thermally, physiologically, the more dangerous its raw flesh becomes. Because whatever can survive inside its body can often survive inside yours too. Fish are distant enough, cold enough, different enough, that most of their hidden threats simply can't make the jump. Mammals are close enough, warm enough, similar enough, that their hidden threats slide right in. So the next time you eat sushi without fear, understand what your body is actually doing. It's not being careless, it's running an ancient calculation, built by millions of years of trial, death, and survival. Measuring the biological distance between you and your food, deciding instantly whether that distance is safe. And the next time raw meat makes your stomach turn, that's not squeamishness. That's 40,000 years of ancestors who learned the hard way that some flesh is simply too close to your own to eat unprepared. Your disgust isn't random, it's inherited memory from every ancestor who almost didn't survive figuring this out. So they built you differently to feel danger before you ever understood why.